Hi, this is Davina, founder of Reawaken Your Authentic Self Academy, and welcome back to video number 3. So I'm really excited about this video. First of all, I'd like to thank you so much for all of your comments for my last video. Feel free to comment below on this video and I'll do my best to answer any of your questions or answer your comments below this video. So before we start with this amazing topic of the physical body, I wanted to give you a quick recap of what we covered on the previous video, which was the emotional body. We talked about the emotional guidance system and how the emotional body really is guiding you. If you feel good, you're going the right direction. If you're feeling bad, you're going the wrong direction. That was the basic here. Feeling good now, happily achieving instead of achieving for happiness. Feeling better thoughts. The purpose of your life is joy. Very good one. Powerful questions. We covered 5 power questions. How do I feel grateful? How do I feel more at peace? How do I feel more excitement? And how do I feel more joy? And how do I increase my love? So those were the powerful questions. We also covered focusing on the perfect outcome instead of focusing on things not working out. Having faith to see the perfect outcome in your third eye, and having faith so that you can expand and move toward it and feel good now. And then the other one was personal growth, and how personal growth and expanding always brings you more happiness and fulfillment as opposed to resisting growth. And practice, practice, practice. So those were the basic foundations of what we talked about for the last video. So in this video, obviously we covered the mindset, the mental body, and this one, the second video was about the emotional body. And now we're going to the third video, which talks about the physical body. Okay, so I am so excited here because the physical body, believe it or not, has a very strong connection, amazingly strong connection to reawakening and tapping into higher levels of your talent and abundance in every single moment of your life. So let's start with number 1 here. So number 1 is importance. What is really the importance here of having an awakened, an authentic physical body? Well, I wanted to talk a bit here about how it relates to reawakening your talent. And in my personal story, what I realized was that the more I cleansed my physical body, and then the more I followed the spiritual laws of taking care of my body, what I noticed was that the cleaner I was, the more my soul, my spiritual body, which we'll talk about in the next chapter, in the next video, my spiritual body it was acting like a vacuum. I was cleaning all the gunk out, and with the space that I did have, I was able to anchor more of my spiritual body. So it's absolutely essential to grow yourself, your soul, into your body, because the more you have of you, the more talent and abundance you can anchor into your body. So that is the importance of following the laws of awakening your spiritual, authentic body. So what I also wanted to say here is that it is the most neglected aspect. I think a lot of people focus on mindset. I think a lot of people focus on feeling good, but they don't really focus on the body. And sometimes they call several people that are really focused on the physical body as extreme, and they don't realize that extremity is really what God really wants for you. And it's all relative. It's all how you see it. And hopefully my perception of creating your authentic body will kind of open your eyes really to how the magnitude of who you really are and how high in vibration you really are. So I'm so excited to share that with you. So, okay, so let's see here. Okay, so I also wanted to say that I want to move on here, and I want to talk about the immortal body. And essentially, if you follow the work of Esther Hicks or Abraham Hicks, obviously Esther Hicks was one of the teachers in the movie The Secret. I'm sure you probably heard of it. I'm not entirely sure, but it was really big a few years ago. And she was teaching in the movie The Secret. And in one of her books, she talks about how the body can live on indefinitely. So I wanted to mention here that the body is designed by God to live indefinitely, to have an immortal body. And my work here, my job as I received it, was that the immortal body can be reawakened, and everybody has a set point to reawaken. There's a certain there's certain patterns for every single one of us to follow, so that the immortal body can be reawakened. So everybody has a set point. There's like a particular pattern, and I've been able to reawaken and discover my own set point of what it is to resurrect my immortal body. So I also wanted to say here that it's not really so much about being immortal and living forever. I mean, everybody is going to pass at some point, and everybody's soul is not so much, okay, we're going to live 1,000 years. It's more about reawakening a consciousness, because your soul already knows when it's going to pass, whether you're immortal or not. I mean, your soul will pass at 60 and be perfectly normal and healthy. It could be passing at 80. It could be passing at 200 years old. It doesn't matter if you're immortal or not. What matters here is not how long you live, but how you live, obviously. But what I want to point out here is that I'm not mentioning the immortal body simply because of the vanity of it or the superficiality of it. I'm kind of mentioning it because of the consciousness of it. When you follow the laws of resurrecting the immortal body, there is a certain consciousness of awakening that matches the vibration of your soul. Your soul is immortal. And when you're vibrating your physical body at the same level of vibration of your soul, there's a tremendous opening and channeling and clear abundance that can anchor into your body. This is the power of the immortal body and the resurrection of the immortal body. So why I'm mentioning it is because when you follow this, you're opening your talent to the optimal ability. So it's that important. It's such an exciting and fascinating subject for me to be able to have that kind of information being channeled to me, and what my own journey has been with resurrecting my own body. So it really has given me a lot of gifts, and yeah, so that's what I wanted to say here. And I also wanted to mention how there has been research in the past. I can't remember the name of the scientist, but he basically did research with chickens, cells of chickens, and he gave them the nutrients that they needed and removed the wastes of the chickens. So these cells were living indefinitely, basically, and he proved the immortality of cells. So if that can be done, there is a set point for everybody a set rate. There is a certain kind of nourishment of your nurturing your body, and then there is a certain rate of where you can remove all of your toxins also completely, so that you can experience as close as possible the immortal state of your body. Okay, so I wanted to move on here to number 3. So number 3, juicing green veggies. Okay, so there are basically 5 major keys that I wanted to share with you in this video, because I realize here that when you have these 5 basic keys, you're really setting the foundation for yourself to kind of resurrect the immortal body and also reawaken your talents and abilities by cleansing your body in these ways. So basically, the first one here is juicing green veggies. Okay, so this is so important. This is probably the number 1 thing that you could do, because 70% of your body is water. 70% of your body is blood, and blood has the same resonance and frequency of green juice. If you look at chlorophyll, it has the same kind of chemical, the composition of hemoglobin, which is the blood. So when you're juicing green juice, chlorophyll rich, you're basically kind of, it's kind of like a blood transfusion. And many of us aren't doing that daily. And that's a tremendous loss in terms of keeping the body up to this kind of state of, energy and nutrients and immortality, and really kind of like this is really your battery, because you're 70% blood basically, and you're kind of giving your blood transfusion with juicing greens, right? And you're basically, when you're not doing this daily and you're not having your blood transfusion, you're basically weakening your blood when you're not doing this. And as we see, there's many animals that the foundation of their diet are greens, especially in vegetarian animals. And gorillas, they mostly eat green veggies. And what we're doing with juicing is that we're compacting the amount of veggies in a 16 ounce, and I do recommend about 16, at least 16 ounces once or twice a day. And so you're compacting all of these greens in there while you're juicing, as opposed to just a salad. It really is the new salad, because salads aren't really that, first of all, salads, when you do eat salads, you're not compacting, and there's only so much you can fit. When you're juicing, you can fit way more veggies, way more nutrients into your body. It's readily available. You drink this and your body can immediately use it, as opposed to salad, which is a lot denser and fills you up a lot faster, so you can't fit as much. So that's what I wanted to say about juicing green veggies here. And another thing that I wanted to say here is that it does replace also steamed vegetables. Steamed vegetables are really tasty, but when you juice steamed vegetables and you see it under a microscope, it ain't pretty. It really is just kind of destroyed nutrients. And when you have live raw juice, you're basically alivening your blood cells, as opposed to cooking your vegetables and having it kind of nourish you, but in a kind of unsuccessful way, because it dims your light. It has less light. And another thing that I also wanted to mention here is that chlorophyll actually absorbs the love of the sun, and the sun is, we can't live without the sun, right? And sun has so much energy and power that when you're juicing that much sun, basically, you're putting sun in your body, you're connecting yourself to the utmost part of source energy, and fruits and nuts and seeds, they're all great, but green vegetables are the kind of like the closest vibration to our source energy, because everything comes from the sun. Nuts, seeds, grains, meats, fish, fruits, vegetables, everything comes from the sun, right? The sun really nourishes you. But the juice greens is kind of like the closest to the sun because it traps the sunlight, right? So that's why it's so incredibly important. It's like your batteries, basically. This is what you're doing. And it also, juicing green veggies has a large array of minerals and can replace, has a large amount of calcium as well. When a lot of us get osteoporosis, and I highly believe it's because we're not juicing. And the more we juice daily, we can prevent things like osteoporosis and mineral deficiencies and overeating. A lot of us overeat because we're lacking so many nutrients and minerals, especially. And when we do this, we curb our appetite. So it's highly important that you juice daily. And I also wanted to mention, there has been a big turnaround with juicers lately, and I highly recommend cold pressed juicers because you get more nutrients, and the nutrients are higher quality. So cold pressed juicers. Okay, so the next part here is superfood greens, and this is kind of like a continuation of juicing green foods because it's mineral dense, and when you do superfood greens like especially the seaweeds like dulce, wakame, arame, kelp, nori, hijiki, also lake superfood like spirulina, highly important. Do it daily. Spirulina, wheatgrass, do it daily. Wheatgrass and spirulina especially, and all of those seaweeds type of superfood greens are a great complement and should go with the juicing. Okay, and what I do basically, I combine my wheatgrass, my spirulina, and sometimes the seaweeds, and I blend them after I juice and create my soup. And I add my seasonings, my salt, my essential fatty acids, my flax oil, right? And so I have the soup here, and I blend it. It's important to blend it because it unlocks all of the nutrients, right? And so you have this soup now, and you can drink it and replace any soup or meal, and you're getting not only the land vegetables, but the lake vegetables and the sea vegetables, and a high density of vegetables. And guess what? After you do this and you combine both of them, you're basically you're killing your hunger, basically. This is a hunger killer, okay? Because this is kind of like the foundation of what you are. And I highly believe that a green-based diet should be the foundation of your house. This is your temple. And a green-based diet is the way to go. Before anything, you need to do this, okay? This is the foundation of your diet. And when you do this, this is highly detoxifying, highly cleansing, and it actually it's really the foundation of this, of resurrecting the immortal body, because it just has nutrient dense, nutrient packed, nutrient everything. So this is what I recommend here. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, so eating once or twice a day at 12 p.m. or 6 p.m. So this is basically a continuation of what I've been talking about. I found this information basically on a scripture called the Essene Gospel of Peace, which was written by Jesus Christ. And I don't want to get into it. I know a lot of people are going to say, yeah, right, Jesus Christ wrote this. I don't want to get into it. But what I do know is that I've had plenty of dreams, plenty of inner guidance, and unbelievable. I'm not going to get into it, but I'm just going to share this information like I received it, okay? This is a sacred book. At first I was even ignoring this principle, but the more I did my spiritual practice and spiritual body activation, the more I realized how this anchors and activates greater consciousness. Okay, and I realized that eating is basically a spiritual practice. It's beyond just festivals and Thanksgiving and let's eat and let's party and party in the mouth. This is a spiritual, this is like a religion. This physical body temple of eating is like this spiritual practice. And so I realized how important it is to eat once or twice a day because, and also it should be at noon or 6 p.m. Noon is when the sun is at its highest, and 6 here is when the sun goes down. And there's something about connecting to those certain time frames while you're eating, because you're connecting to the cycles of the earth and the planet, and connecting that back to that is very important to awaken consciousness to a deeper level. Now, if you're having trouble with eating exactly at noon or exactly at 6, I would say do it from a time frame from 11 to 1. Do it around that time frame. Okay, so that's the best you can do it, and and do as best as you can to hit 12 and 6 p.m. And it's so important to awaken consciousness. And what you're doing here is that you can't really do this unless you're juicing your green vegetables and eating your superfoods. I would not recommend for you to reduce your diet to 2 to 1 time a day, or 1 time a day if you're not doing the superfoods and the juicing first, because it's so nutrient dense that you don't even have to eat throughout the day. And I know there's a lot of people who are doing, eat breakfast because it'll jolt your metabolism, or you get eat throughout the day, and it's actually really horrible to be eating all throughout the day, like 6 mini meals, because your digestive juices are just diluting. So when you're concentrating the nutrition and getting all of the nutrient-packed nutrition, you actually have to eat. But you actually don't require much eating. So you're getting all your nutrients already by eating this in this way. And so I also wanted to mention here that really eating breakfast is a myth. And it's not necessary to eat breakfast. If you're going to do anything for breakfast, it should be 1 to 2 liters of water a day and deep breathing. That should be your breakfast, and not break the fast. Breakfast, not break the fast, okay? So, because when you're eating once or twice a day only, and you have these gaps of just water in between, you're increasing your level of detoxification and cleansing. And remember what we talked about with the Immortal Body is that there needs to be a time for you to give nutrient-dense nutrition to your cells. Remember we talked about the chicken cells? We give the nutrients, and we also remove the toxins and the waste that the cells have. So the space that we have between the meals are the times when your body is actually removing the wastes and the toxins, because we're increasing our level of fasting. And when we're increasing our level of fasting, the rate of detoxification, rejuvenation, and de-aging of the body happens. And it's so crucial, and that's why we're aging, basically, because we're not allowing a time of fasting, a time of rejuvenation, a time for the body to focus back on the regeneration of the body. And so all we're doing is all day we're eating, and we're kind of messing up our body. So this is what we're supposed to be doing, okay? So let's move on here. So I already started to mention about water for breakfast. So here I'm suggesting 1.5 liters to 2 liters every 6 hours. So in the morning, I would recommend at least 2 liters because you have been not drinking any water while you were sleeping. So I would recommend 2 liters. And this is replacing your breakfast. Okay, so you're basically flushing your system and extending your fast that you had been doing during the night. I would recommend after the first 6 hours in the morning to do either 1.5 to 2 liters in the afternoon, and again 1.5 to 2 liters at night. And a lot of people think that this is a lot of water, but when you're not munching on stuff, this is actually really helps replace those snacks or whatever it is, and it really does kind of cushion you to maintain that 70% water in your body, because we are 70% water, as I mentioned before. And this amount of water is actually more accurate than just stuffing yourself with food. And sometimes when you think that you're hungry, you're really just dehydrated. So really try this, and it will definitely increase your levels of energy within your body. And if you're already juicing every meal and blending your soups with superfood greens and juicing, you're already having a lot more water as well, which is really amazing. Amazing for your body to have this kind of wet diet and wet day. Basically, you're just basically drinking a lot of water and not so much dry food, but very green based and juice based. And so that's so important. Okay, let's see what else I wanted to talk about. And it's important to drink water because of the detoxification and flushing out while you're not eating. Okay, when you're not eating, you need plenty of this to flush out the waste of your cells and of your body. Okay, so that's very important. So let's move on to number 7. So we already touched a little bit about fasting, especially because we're not breaking our fasts in the morning, eating once or twice a day. And fasting is absolutely, this is the secret, okay? This is the secret to the highest physical body vibration. This is the secret to matching your soul with your physical body so that it can be a perfect match and actually expand and seat itself in a more expanded manner within your body, okay? Lots of us are eating way too much and are overweight, and when you're has such a low density, say my hand is my physical body and this is my soul, right? So when we're eating a lot, the movement symbolizes vibration. We're eating a lot, we're vibrating at such a low level movement, and our souls are over here. It's vibrating like this, right? It's really, really dense. And so when the body is not a match, the soul, which is vibrating like super fast, right? Like almost like hummingbird fast, it can't completely descend within your body, so there's a block. So when you're fasting and you're skipping breakfast and you're skipping snacks and you're skipping late night meals, you're basically increasing the level of vibration, right? So it can vibrate at the same level as your soul. So this is so important to actually see and lose weight. And there's actually a weight that everybody has that matches the vibration of the soul. And for example, for me, I was 5'11". I used to be 165 pounds. I was a size 12. And when I did my spiritual ceremonies and my entheogenic journeys, I received from God and my highest self that my size was a size 4 and I was a size 12, and it told me that I needed to eat once or twice. For me, for a lot of people it'll be twice, but for me it was once a day. And I realized that once I hit my size 4, I experienced my soul was able to jump back into my body. It was the most bizarre thing, because once that happened, once I hit the size 4, the resonance of my soul could match my body finally, and I had, all this information of new soul awakening, and I was moving my body, the part of me that was already in my body was very confused, because it was experiencing new movements, new thoughts that I wasn't used to before. Now I'm kind of used to my new me, but it was absolutely amazing. And it was all because I started to fast, and because I started to reawaken and allow myself to vibrate at the frequency of my soul, right? So this is my secret. And I also wanted to mention here that you cannot fast effectively unless you're juicing green vegetables daily and in every meal. You're juicing green vegetables. Okay, I just want to say here, yes, you can juice green vegetables, and yes, you can juice any other vegetable that is not green, but the emphasis here is green vegetables. You cannot fast without green vegetables and without superfoods. You cannot do this, okay? If you're eating just junk food, carbs, spaghetti, pasta, and extremely non-alkalizing foods, fasting is very inefficient, and you can't detox as well. So this and this is crucial to do this, and this and this and this is crucial to do this, okay? So my recommendation for fasting is not to do 20 days or 40 days like Jesus Christ. That is not what I want to recommend, and especially in this video. If you go to my Academy Master's program, great. I'll show you more about fasting, but for this video, all I want to say here is to start fasting only on juices and superfood soups once or twice a day, okay, for starters, and eventually fasting on either coconut water or lemonade and honey on Sundays. Okay, so Sundays you're going to work it up to coconut water or teas or detox teas to only water. Okay, so that's right now I'm doing Sundays on water, and so I wanted to mention that for me, one day out of the week I do fasting just on water, because it's absolutely essential to anchor a higher level of high frequency into your body every single week. So every week it's kind of like a cycle in a spiritual practice, and every week you're kind of anchoring new levels of you, because you're allowing yourself to fast and allow God to kind of clean you. It's kind of like shining the sun, at such a high level, because you're really elevating your frequency at such a high level here. So this is like the secret, and so this is what I wanted to talk about for this video. I'm incredibly excited for you to start applying these principles, and I'm so sorry I can't really these are 30-minute videos or so, but this is like the key little gemstones. But so that's what I wanted to say for this video. And I want to thank you for all your comments in my previous videos. Feel free to comment on the video below. I'll be happy to answer any question. I'll do the best that I can. Sorry if I don't get to your comments, but I'll do the best that I can with my schedule. And I also wanted to say here to please like us on Facebook as well. And that said, I hope you really enjoyed this video. This information was incredibly transformative to me. And until the next video, which is the last video absolutely tune in for that, because it's like the cherry on top of the ice cream, okay? You will absolutely love the last video. And until next time, live the courage to reawaken your authentic self.